Right there is Amsterdam, 1637. And inside that tavern, someone is about to pay more for a single flower bulb than most people earn in a decade. This is Tulip Mania, the first speculative bubble in human history.
Next 3 weeks, the entire tulip market is going to collapse. Fortunes that took generations to build will vanish overnight. And the thing that caused it all is a flower. Not gold, not silver.
You want to see how an entire country lost its mind over flowers and invented every financial mistake we still make today? Subscribe right now. This is the original market bubble.
Into a tulip tavern. That's what they called them. Actual taverns where the only thing traded was tulip bulbs. No beer on the tables. Just contracts. Just bulbs. Just men betting their entire futures on the color of a petal.
The most expensive bulb in the room right now is a Semper Augustus. Red and white striped petals. There are only 12 of them in existence. The current bid is 5,000 guilders. That's a house on the best canal in Amsterdam for a bulb.
6,000 guilders! 6,000 guilders!
That in perspective. 5,000 guilders. A skilled carpenter earns 250 guilders a year. A single tulip bulb cost 20 years of a carpenter's wages. This wasn't investing. This was collective madness with paperwork.
How it started. Tulips came from the Ottoman Empire. They were exotic, rare. The Dutch elite wanted them in their gardens. Supply was low, demand was high. Prices rose. And then, people who didn't care about flowers at all.
That's the moment every bubble begins. When the buyers aren't buying the asset anymore. They're buying the expectation that someone else will pay more later. The tulip stops being a flower. It becomes a bet.
A man named Hendrik, a weaver by trade. 3 months ago, he sold his loom, his entire livelihood, and bought tulip bulb futures. His wife thinks he's still weaving. He comes to this tavern every day instead. The loom would take 20 years to earn what I've made in 3 months, he
doesn't know anything about tulips. He couldn't tell a Semper Augustus from a common garden variety. And he doesn't need to. He's not buying flowers. He's buying the line that keeps going up. That's the mantra of every bubble. It's different this time.
Futures contracts. The Dutch invented them for tulips. You could buy a bulb that hadn't even been grown yet. Pay a fraction now. Settle when the bulb flowers. Most of the bulbs being traded in this tavern right now don't exist. They're still in the ground.
Volume of tulip futures being traded in Holland right now exceeds the total number of tulip bulbs that exist in the entire world by a factor of 10. 10 times more paper than flowers. That's not a market. That's a casino pretending...
The man who's going to survive this. His name is Willem. He's a grain merchant. He deals in actual wheat. Real things that people eat. He told me he bought tulips once, made a profit, and sold immediately. A flower is not a business, he said.
He showed me his ledgers. Grain prices over 20 years. Steady. Predictable. Boring. He's been quietly getting rich while everyone else was chasing flowers. People will always need bread, he said. Nobody needs a tulip. That's the most valuable sentence I've heard in it.
The tavern is getting louder. A new bulb just sold for 6,000 guilders. The room is electric. Hendrik is celebrating. He's made more money in 3 months than his father made in a lifetime. I want to be happy for him. But I know what happens
February
next.
3rd, 1637. Nobody knows it yet, but this is the peak. The last bulb sold at the highest price ever recorded. From this moment forward, the only direction is down. and the fall will be faster than anyone can outrun.
Started at a routine bulb auction in Harlem. The auctioneer called for bids. Nobody bid. He lowered the price. Still nothing. A room full of tulip traders, and nobody wanted to buy. In that silence, an entire economy began to die.
Spread through Amsterdam like fire. Haarlem had no buyers. Then Rotterdam. Then Utrecht. Within days, tulip bulbs were worthless. Contracts that represented fortunes became just paper. The bubble didn't slowly deflate. It vanished.
I found Hendrik in the tavern. The same tavern where he celebrated 3 days ago. He was sitting alone. The contracts he'd been clutching, the ones worth more than his loom, were on the table in front of him. Unsellable. Worthless. He hadn't told his wife yet.
Bought at the peak. His entire position. All 6,000 guilders worth of bulbs that don't exist yet. The futures are due in April. But the market has already decided what they're worth. Nothing. I sold the loom, he kept saying.
I didn't know what to say. There's nothing to say.
Out of the tavern at dusk. The canals were freezing over. Amsterdam in February is cold and gray. And I kept thinking about Willem's words. A flower is not a business. But people can convince themselves that anything is a business if enough other people believe it too.
Tulip Mania created every mistake we still make today. Buying assets you don't understand, betting with borrowed money, believing the line can only go up, ignoring the people who say this is just a flower. 400 years later, and we haven't learned a single thing.
The grain merchant is still in business. Hendrik the weaver went back to weaving on someone else's loom. He'll spend the rest of his life paying off the debt. His wife left him. The tulip took everything.
Amsterdam. But I'm taking one thing with me. Not a tulip. I'm taking Willem's sentence. People will always need bread. The most boring investments are the ones that survive every bubble. The most exciting ones are the ones that destroy you.